Hello to everybody. This is Davide Strozzi. I'm CEO of Campus Party Global. It's a pleasure for me to introduce to you this second day of Campus Party Spotlight, the first digital event of Campus Party about circular economy and sustainability. But this is a very important moment because this is the pitch battle that will be one of the most important moments of the entire show. It is the moment where we are going to listen to the pitch presentation of the 10 finalist group of the call for ideas about recycle and reuse of wind turbines at the end of their life cycle, sponsored by Enel. So this is a really important moment because these teams are going to present their ideas to the jury, and the jury is going to elect the winner of this challenge that will win 3,000 euros in Amazon coupon or equivalent platform where Amazon is not present. So don't wasting any more any time. I'm going to introduce Lucrezia that will lead everything. And the last thing that I have to say is check the agenda, stay tuned, because in the evening there will be the award ceremony where we will discover who will be the winning team. So please, let's start. The last thing to say is good luck to all the participants, and thank you, Lucrezia. Please go ahead and lead the dances. Thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you, Davide. Good morning, everyone. So we are going to start very soon with the pitch session, but first I would like to introduce you the jury of this call for ideas, the jury from Enel. So I would like to invite on stage Nicoletta Dante, Fabio Fugazzotto, and Silvia Gasperetti.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Good morning. This is the jury who is going to judge the 10 finalists of this call for ideas. We had almost 25 projects uploaded, and the jury had to decide the 10 best projects who will have the chance today to present their ideas on the Campus Party stage. I don't know if you want to say something about the call for ideas that is going to start, or we can start with the projects.
I'm very curious. I suggest to start.
Perfect. Let's start with the first project, but before I would like to resume the rules of the pitch session. Every project will have 3 minutes to pitch the idea, and then these 3 minutes will be followed by 2 minutes of Q&A, where the jury would ask questions about the project, so you will explain better. And after this pitch session, of course, we will reunite with the jury to decide the winner, who, as Davide said, will be announced tonight on the award ceremony appointment. So I would like to start with the first project. So Davide Pompilio with the reused wind turbine material for prosthesis project. Thank you, Davide. So 3 minutes for you. Please share your slides if you have, so that the jury can see that.
Can you see that?
Not yet.
Let me try again.
Yes.
Maybe it didn't. I don't know why it interrupted my screen. Can you see that now?
Yes, perfectly. So I'm leaving you the speech.
Thank you very much. So, good morning, everyone. The purpose of this project is to demonstrate how wind turbine materials that we use to save the environment can still be useful for those in need by providing an alternative, cheaper prosthesis, along with solving the problem of dismissed turbines all over the world. If we analyze data for what concerns the components of a wind turbine, we realize just how similar they are compared to the materials we need for a prosthetic limb. It becomes clear that we can adapt what once was used for energy to turn it to the most direct consequence of that energy, movement. In fact, steel, fiberglass, carbon fibers, and various polymers are the main materials used both in the wind turbine industry and the prosthesis industry. Such composite materials are the prevalent reason why prosthetic implants are so expensive, and recovering them from already existing structures significantly brings down the cost of purchase. This is a great opportunity that the target customers could benefit from. Free provided prostheses are indeed often uncomfortable and they don't allow people to live a normal life. And this is an innovative solution to what once was a problem. Furthermore, it is twice sustainable, as not only does it preserve landscapes, but it also reduces the consumer metal production. But let's actually bring this down to earth. First off, the turbines need to be dismantled and then undergo industrial processes to recover the materials needed for the prosthetic limb. I like just to define it as a change of dress, as both the initial and the final product serve for the same purpose: energy. As for the cost, a prosthetic limb can cost from 2,000 up to 100,000 euros. However, it can get worn out easily, and the cost can add up over time. This procedure aims to reduce the cost by around 40%. I have identified some stakeholders sharing the common view of creating better opportunities for people, such as Enel Prosthetic Center in Budrio, Enel, and the Ministry of Health. The Italian fencer Baby Vio might as well support the initiative, as she fights to offer equal opportunities to those who, like her, need a prosthesis to keep following their dreams. But why is this project so innovative? First, it is an idea with great humanity behind it, as it provides a solution to those who are not cared for. Also, it brings new life to what once was defined renewable, making it worthy of that name again. And finally, in line with the 2030 agenda, its added value is that it reduces inequalities, allowing people with economical constraints to afford a decent alternative to lead a more comfortable life. Thank you.
Thank you, Davide. So I would like to invite the jury on stage for a Q&A session. Here they are.
Yes, Davide, congratulations for your pitch. I have two questions for you. The first is, I understand that you analyze the wind turbine sector, but do you have analyzed also the prosthesis sector?
Yes.
And the second question is, Lucrezia, all it's okay?
Yes.
Okay. And the second question, David, from my side is, do you know if this sector is it's ready to use this material?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear the second question.
Sorry?
I couldn't quite hear the second question.
The second question is related if you know the industry are able to use this material.
Yes. As for the first question, the most innovative materials are actually made of fiberglass and carbon fibers, as they are the lightest materials and they are very versatile, very strong. So to lead very active movements with such prostheses, so to have a normal life, we need such materials. And taking them from the wind turbine industry, as we all know, they are materials that are in wind turbine, is a great opportunity, as it allows people to save money on such prostheses. About the second question, yes, actually, I've thought this on a long-term period. So maybe if this project takes on and keeps on moving, there might be actually more employment, because there might be more industries for prostheses growing near wind turbine centers.
Thank you.
David, just a clarification. In your idea, are you going to use directly the part of the wind turbines, or are you going to processing the materials coming from wind turbines to produce new materials to use for prostheses?
Okay, I have to premise that I'm no chemist, but what I can say is that composite materials from wind turbines are ready to be prepared through industrial process, so they can be molded and reshaped again into the final product.
Okay. So we are going to close this Q&A session to go to the next project. Thank you, Davide. Thank you
very much.
So let's go ahead with the second project, Project 2 by Ricardo Freire da Silva, with the project Wind Turbine Reusing Space Industry. Hola, Ricardo. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning to everyone.
So 3 minutes for you to show your project. First, let's try to share your screen, your slides.
Okay. All right. Can I start?
Yes, now there's a black screen. I don't know if it's normal.
Yeah, it's ready.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Good morning to everyone. So I will start my pitch with this video. So today we have more than 2,800 operational satellites orbiting our planet, Earth. And it is expected that until the end of this decade, we may have more than 107,000 operational satellites orbiting our planet. And this will happen because there are several satellite mega constellations under development and implementation. Some like the Starlink from SpaceX, OneWeb, and Amazon Kuiper. So there are some examples of constellations with more than 1,000 satellites that will orbit our planet in the next years. So a huge increase in the number of satellites in operation. So I'll talk about how we can reuse wind turbines in the space industry. And the first question that you may ask me is, what is the connection between satellites and wind turbines? And we start with, we have the challenge on disposal and recycling wind turbine blades at the end of their useful life. More specifically, due to the composition, because the blades are made of composite materials. And here is the connection, because composite materials are extremely important to space applications. In fact, they are already used in several space systems such rockets, satellites, and spacecrafts. And they are used because composite materials are cost-effectiveness, high strength to weight ratio, multifunctionality, diverse properties in terms of thermal insulation and ablation. And considering that the global space economy in 2019 has reached more than $400 billion, and considering the annual growth of the space industry and the missions in space, such as satellite mega constellation under development, as I said in the beginning, and the lunar exploration. So we have the Artemis program with a sustainability way to go to the moon with astronauts in a permanent mission. The wind turbines are a really valuable source of composite materials, and they are virtually unknown by the space industry. So using physical recycling and chemical recycling in combination, or only physical recycling in some case, may be a valuable way to reuse from reuse these materials from these used wind turbines in space industry, and the space industry is capable to invest in it. So I finish here with the question, why not send those wind turbines blades to space? And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. So the jury on stage for make a quick Q&A session. Here they are.
Sure.
No question from my side.
Do you have analyzed the business model behind the reuse of these wind blades in the space sectors?
So the point is that, as I have shown, we will have to build thousands and thousands of satellites. And in this case, they will use composite materials. And so considering the high demand, and for sure we must have a lot of wind turbines to be that could be used, the space industry certainly will be able to apply to use all of this material, considering the high level of the high number of satellites that should be developed. So considering this, I believe that it will be a good way to use these wind turbines.
Okay,
And you verify the technological feasibility, technical feasibility to reuse these materials.
I believe that yes, because the space industry already used several complex technologies to develop many things, as you might, as we feel, we understand it. It's something that they certainly will be able to use this and reuse this wind turbine. So I am sure that it will not be in kind of challenge to the space industry, considering what they already do.
Thank you, Ricardo. So thank you to the jury. Let's go ahead with the third project. So we have Federica Zaccardi with the project Turbine Sharing. Hi, Federica.
Good morning.
So please share your screen so that we can see the slide.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Do you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Federica Zaccardi of Team Monzac, and we decided to participate in the second challenge of Play Energy Call for Ideas with our project, Turbine Sharing, an idea to 3D print bikes from wind turbine waste. We decided to participate in this second challenge because we know that wind turbines are a great source of energy, but their disposal will also represent a great environmental issue if no one takes action soon. Wind turbines are mostly made of composite materials, and a method to fully recycle composite materials still has to be developed. Nowadays, methods to partially recycle composite materials include chemical or thermal treatments that are usually expensive and polluting. So an alternative to chemical or thermal treatments is the shredding. Shredding is a mechanical process which consists in cutting and ultimately pulverizing the composite material. The pulverized composite can then be mixed with a plastic, thus creating a new plastic material. Among the plastics, there is a special plastic, the PEEK, that is also used in the aerospace, automotive, and sports equipment industrial fields. It is special because it performs better than common plastics. It has better mechanical and thermal properties, and can also be used in 3D printing. As you might know, 3D printing is a fabrication technique based on the deposition of a plastic filament along a predefined pattern, and it is above all a cheap fabrication process that also allows for the recycling of the fabricated parts. So what we propose here is to shred the composite material of the wind turbine blades, mix it with the PEEK plastic, thus creating a new plastic material. This new plastic can then be used to create a new composite filament for 3D printing. The filament, so, is used in a 3D printer to 3D print an object. So what if then the object is not satisfying, or the design is not satisfying? I want to change the design. I can shred the object, so having again the raw material, create again the filament, and then 3D print the object again a second time. So how can we apply this process to our everyday life in an innovative and sustainable way? We propose to apply this fabrication process to create bicycle frames for bike sharing. So what if then the bicycle is broken or is not needed anymore? We can, the bicycle frame can become again the raw material for 3D printing. We also estimated that with our fabrication process, we can produce roughly up to 10,000 bikes from one blade. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Federica. So let's invite the jury on stage.
Congratulations, Federica. Do you have already tested this print? I didn't understand.
I work with the 3D printing of composite materials and nanocomposite materials. So yes, these kind of things are feasible. I've seen that 3D printing of PIC is still something. It's something that has already been done, and also plastic composite materials. I've not yet seen the 3D printing of PIC with the recycled composites, but I have seen the production of PIC with recycled composite materials, not 3D printed. But I know that PIC has been 3D printed also for bikes. So I think that is something that could be done. I work with 3D printing of composites, so I know that there should be a lot of research probably to study the correct compositions, the correct percentages between the composite and the plastic. So to see when the composite actually acts as a reinforcement in the plastic, and also the 3D printing process from scratch. But I see that with current technology is feasible and is a way that is currently studied to recycle composites. I work in the space sector, and for example, 3D printing is seen now as an enabling technology for future space missions because it enables the recycling of parts in space, for example. And since there is a boost from large companies such as NASA or the European Space Agency, I think that is something that in recent years will be feasible.
Thank you.
Federica. So let's go ahead with the project. That is We Bike from Nicolo Danti. So Nicolo,
okay.
Good
Morning.
Good morning. Try to share your screen so that we can check that everything is okay.
Okay. It's working?
Yes. So when you want to start, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Let's start. Okay. Good morning to everybody. This is We Bike, a circular bike sharing project in response to the challenge number 1 of the Enel Call for Ideas. Do you know the impact of green energy? We want to start with this question because the scenario is that in 5 years we'll get over 2 millions of tons of composite materials coming from the turbines of the wind farms. What if we do nothing? Of course, we'll have a great impact on the environmental side, but also on the economic side, because the fixed cost to moving and building the turbines are really high. What instead if we recycle? With one wind turbine, we can obtain an output of up to 15,000 e-bikes. We did also a material analysis, and we can check that all or almost all the materials can be employed in producing electric bikes, including the charging station and the batteries. So our solution is thought for the urban micromobility and also for the Enel employees. We will see it. The market analysis shows that the bike sharing sector is growing more and more. For example, just in Italy during the pandemic period, with a growth rate of the 60%. The target audience, as I said, is the classic bike sharing, but we thought also to the Enel employees. In fact, we want to create shared values with a return of image for the company in accordance with the SDGs of the UN, but also we want to increase the perception of the company, giving for free the bikes for the employees of the company. Also, we talked about the impact on cities and public health. Regarding the revenues, we know that the average use per day of a bike shared is 1 hour. So we thought about 7 cents, the cost per minute multiplied for the 15,000 units, we can have a revenue from 20 to 22 millions of euro. Our competitor focused only on one side of the diagram, so the free floating or the session based, but we want to put ourselves on both the side of this. The roadmap is that in the next month we can develop the project, and in April we want to finalize the partnership with the organization and with Enel, and at the end of the year a feedback about the project itself. So this is our team. It's composed by 5 people: Stefano Bencetti, Lorenzo Maio, Gabriele Medori, Daniele Pelosio, and Nicola Danti. So join the change with Bike. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much, Nicola. Thank you.
A question: did you also evaluate the cost? Because you estimated the revenue, but not the cost of all the projects. No?
The costs are linked of the waste flow management. So our idea is, for example, to have a partnership in outsourcing with the companies that already do this kind of waste management.
So you haven't, let's say, validated yet the whole process from the treatment of the blades up to the production of the bikes.
Sorry, can you repeat, because I didn't understand.
Are you into the process? Did you validate the process to convert the turbine into a bike? I mean, the treatment of the blades and the production.
Yes, of course. The materials has to be treated, for example, with a pyrolysis or all the mechanism that wants to transform the composite materials into something that we can use. But the point is that more or less all the materials, like the fiber of glass and carbon and the steel, can be used for an output like a bike, an electric bike, including the charging station and the batteries.
Okay, so if there are no questions, we can go ahead. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola. So let's start with the 5th project from Andrea Russo, with turbine reused as innovative multi-assembly fabrications. So here is Andrea.
Good morning to everyone. Can you see me and listen?
Yes, please share your screen.
Okay, I will start the presentation. Can you see it?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, sure. Okay, so good morning to everyone. I'm Andrea Russo and I show my project MAF for multi-assembly fabrication. Multi-assembly fabrication is just the result of thermoplastic process. Studies have shown efficiency method to extract material with just low energy. Pyrolysis can produce resistant material with different form. They can also be used for building structure by setting it together with the cutting form, as you can see in the third image of the slide. Thanks to this technology, multi-assembly fabrication polymers will help companies to recover material to improve fast and easy disassemble buildings for any necessity. Every construction can be modified according to the needs of the constructor, like the size, and in case of necessity, they can become a provisional refuge for emergency situation, or just temporary workplace. They can also be set together to building complex structures like small house. The sustainability value, the pyrolysis method in the worst case scenario produce a loss of the 10% of the materials, and this is a very low loss. Also, the multi-layer polymers have a good thermic efficiency, and for the multi-assembly fabrication, they don't need They just need the low budget for be assembled. So there is no additional waste during the construction. The economic value, if we think that in the worst case scenario, the loss of the material is just the 10%, that means that we can fully recycle the 90% of the turbine wings. But also, if we don't need the multi-assembly material, so just the polymers, we can use the polymer itself as a stock material in the financial market. The value market right now, like the last month, it's $140 million. And it's still going up thanks, of course, to the interest of fabrication and construction industries. I had the pleasure 3 years ago to meet Carlo Bozzoli, the CEO of Enel, and we talk a lot about the subscription economy. Subscription economy is just a customer-centric approach based on data-driven method. Multi-assembly fabrication can be a good solution for propose the right product to the right need from the customers. Because multi-assembly fabrication, of course, can be modified as need for the customers. That's all. Thanks for watching. I hope you have questions.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
With the jury. Any questions for Andrea? No, no questions.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, so let's go ahead with the next project, project 6 from Gustavo Roberto Pinheiro, carbon and glass fiber usage in low-cost residencies.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, so let's try to share your screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, 3 minutes for you. Thank you.
Good morning. This is my team to start with. It's Anna, Gabriel, me, and Kelvin. We are here to present a project to reuse the materials of carbon glass and glass fiber to low-cost residence construction. To start off, we need to talk a little bit of the components of the wind turbines. So we have the tower that supports everything. We have the nacelle that contains the rotor and other materials. We have the rotor that spins to generate energy, and the blades that use the wind. Our goal here is seeing that the components that most have the wind turbines most have is the carbon and glass fibers. So our goal here is to use this material to construct the residence with to reduce the impact on the environment. So our idea is to construct a drywall-based system, which is to substitute the gypsum plasterboards and the gypsum material, the gypsum board, and the glass wool, in that case, for the carbon and glass fibers to give resistance and some isolation to the wall. Here we can see a little bit of the schematics of a drywall. It's simple, so you can see the steel profiles that gives support to the whole structure. The glass wool that is the interior of the wall, and the plasterboards that go outside. Our idea is to give these carbon and glass fibers the whole structure with a mortar coating to finalize the construction. So we can use this hollow profile to substitute the steel, and maybe even use the steel from the wind turbine itself, depending on the cost of the construction. These the benefits that we can see in this project. It's a low cost because you're not using any materials from other places. You're basically using the whole the whole system from the wind turbine. It's a fast construction because you can use the only industrial part you need to do is to cut the wind turbine parts for the construction itself, and it's easy to implement and helps the environment because you're not throwing the whole structure into the garbage. So that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Gustavo.
Thank you.
So let's have some questions from the jury. Unmute yourself.
Only one question from my side, Gustavo. Congratulations, but I didn't understand the last slide about the benefits. If you have a number, do you have analyzed all the cluster, the low cost about what, for example?
It's hard to say about the cost because it varies too much from country to country. But here in Brazil, for example, we use too much cement in the constructions. It's a high price material. So in the United States, they use a lot of wood, for example. So it's hard to say from the country, and that needs a lot of more study for the implementation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other question? No, we don't have time anymore. So let's go ahead with the next.
Thanks.
So project it's number 7 with Pietro Costanzi Fantini with the title Generator Aluminium Anemometer Gearbox Yaw Motor. The most difficult title I ever read. So let's go ahead with your pitch.
Yep, I'm pulling it up now. Okay. Is it here? Can you see it?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
3 minutes.
All right. Hi, my name's Pietro Costanzi Fantini. I'm part of the team Nardone, composed by Gabriele Onorato, Denis Dimchev, Federico Gerardi, and myself. We are all in our last year of high school. We decided to tackle this challenge since as young adults, the preservation of the well-being of our planet is in our best interest. We'd like to introduce you to our project, Nardone Eolic. We've always been a very active team in regards to the further development of sustainable energy projects. We've developed Trashbot, a special robot which is able to recognize trash on the streets utilizing artificial technology and pick it up via a mechanical arm. Nowadays, the presence of greenhouse gas emitting engines is becoming more of a relevant problem. Thus, the use of wind turbines has been widely adopted by numerous countries. As time goes on, however, it is essential that we find a way to reuse wind turbines that are beyond repair or have done their course in such a way that avoids further pollution created during smelting and recycling process. Our idea is to find a way to reuse wind turbines by repurposing their components. An example of this is by converting the generator into an electric motor, which can be used for industrial applications or ships. The anemometer can be reused for weather stations, and the aluminium panels alongside the hub and the rotor can be used in the construction of silos and pressure vessels. Furthermore, the tower itself can be cut down and re-rolled into smaller tubes for constructional uses. And the gearbox of the turbine can be reused in power plants. Nextly, the nacelle, the outer shell of the turbine itself, can be used in airplane cockpits and the construction of train locomotives. Okay, can you see the presentation or?
No, actually.
I'll try it again.
Back. Maybe someone from the direction can help us.
Hold on a second. Should I just continue with the pitch? And
yes, just go ahead. You just closed the share the screen, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it.
Okay, if you want, you can go ahead and maybe just after with the jury.
Okay, it's just loading, so I'll just keep on going with the presentation. And the gearbox of the turbine can be reused in power plants. Nextly, the nacelle, or the outer shell of the turbine itself, can be used in airplane cockpits and the construction of train locomotives. Lastly, we could use the excess material to make our own Trashbot. We hope this idea can reach out to you and inspire a greener future free from pollution. I would like to end the speech with a quote that inspired us greatly. And I'll just pull it up in a second. It is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to an environment in which we all live. Dalai Lama. Thank you.
Thank you, Pietro. So here's some questions from the jury.
No.
Thank you, Pietro. First of all, congratulations for your commitment. And my question is about, have you verified the potential application that you listed in your presentation?
Yeah, our plan is to basically reuse the different components of wind turbines and recycle them in different aspects. So our main component that we decided to reuse would be, of course, the tower itself to make the Trashbot, which is a project that we made. That would be, of course, it would be beneficial for the environment, since through artificial intelligence and a mechanical arm, we could pick up the trash from the street. So it could be a very green, future-oriented project.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's go to the next project. We are at Project 8 with Giovanni Marsilio, with Saving Blades for Another Day.
Hello there, I'll try to share my screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Can you see my presentation? Okay. This is Giovanni Marsilio on behalf of GLT team. We propose an innovative solution for saving wind turbines blades for a new use, extending their life cycle. The aim is to create an open roof by fixing some discharged blades to a central beam that stands on two pillars. The advantage is that such blades can be removed from the turbine generator and then can be easily installed on the steel structure, changing their function into giving shelter. Its shape reminds a rib cage because as the anatomic part preserves the vital functions of a human being, the blades aim to shelter anthropic activities, increasing the community inclusion. The whole structure is very simple. The elements are easily available. They can be easily assembled or disassembled, and so the structure can be used in different ways, as for temporary exhibitions or public events, but also as a bus station or bus terminals. The underneath coverage can be favored by applying some items such as plexiglass panels between the blades. The stability of the blades is also guaranteed by some anchorages connected to the tips of the blades to the ground. The central beam has a curvature that favors the linkage between the two pillars with different heights. For the specific case, my team considered an open pavilion with 320 square meters, obtained by 12 blades of 6 meters taken from 4 wind turbines. The connection is guaranteed by a welded collar specifically designed to host the turbine for the purpose. The main properties of the project include the easiness of installation and the chance to substitute each item without compromising the entire structure. And this is a plus from economic and sustainability point of view. The scalability and the modularity of the idea gives the chance to adapt the project for any uses. And the blades can be used without any expensive modification because of there is not an unusual structural role for the components. Okay, I'm available for your questions.
Perfect. So here's the jury.
Hi, I have a question. What is the let's say the section of the blade you intend to use in your solution? I mean, what's the dimension of the section of the blade to be used?
The dimension can vary according to the dimension of the item considered. In our case, the section is quite variable. And about the blades, are you talking about the blades or the other elements?
Yes. I was wondering how do you intend to manage blades, cut them, and transporting to sites?
No, we don't need to cut the blades. We can remove from the generator as they are, and then install.
As it is. Okay, the wood blade. You are thinking of the wood blade. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead with the next project, project 9. So the jury has voted. Project 9, Andrea Ardizzone, with the project plant pots and flower beds from wind turbines blades.
Okay, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, so I go sharing. Okay, if we are ready to go.
Perfect. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so my name is Andrea Ardizzone, and my proposal for recycling dismissed wind turbine blades is cutting them and use them to make some plant pots like these that could be configured and in different configurations and layouts to be used in urban areas like parks, squares, pedestrian areas, or we can turn them into large flower beds that may be placed eventually on a supporting structure for traffic islands, large sidewalks. And consider that from a 50-meter long blade, we can get about 50 plant pots, considering an average height of 1 meter, or 2 long flower beds. It's another job, it's expensive. I think that it's not expensive because basically we have just to plan how to cut a blade, we have to plan the layout, and basically there is just some cutting and transportation and placing. In case of flower bed, it's a little harder because we have also to project and realize a supporting structure that should need some cast or 3D scanning. Then we can make a steel support or a concrete support. A further possible use for smaller blades in their entire sides, if we have a lot of space, is using them as a decoration for fountains. So in conclusion, the advantages of this project is that it's cheap, it's not hard to do job, it can start just today. No treatment of materials here required, it's suitable for a lot of places. Most part of the blade is recycled, and they can be fully customized with a lot of different artworks. Also street artists may be involved, and always more plants in the cities are always a good thing. We have just some limitation. Landfill blades could be difficult to be recalled without damaging them, and it requires just basic maintenance like plant pruning, restoring decoration, and consider also to plan water drainage for heavy rains. Thank you for watching. Ready for questions?
Thank you, Andrea. So,
thank you, Andrea. I have two questions for you. The first,
un attimo, momento, just a minute. Okay.
Okay. The first question is related the already implementation of your idea. Do you know if around the world your idea is already implemented? And do you know if this solution is it's available for all the plants?
Okay. Honestly, I didn't see very much. I make a research, but I didn't see very much use of this kind of project. I think that is the most factible use right now available that doesn't need particular material processing. And I think that quite all the blades can be used for this because basically they are empty inside with some metallic parts, but when you cut, you can remove these parts and recycle separately. And then you have the empty shell that can be used as these decorations.
Thank you.
okay, any other questions from the other two? Okay, so we can go to the next and last project. That is project 10, floating greenhouses from Antonio Scinardo. So Antonio can jump on stage. Hi, Antonio. So
Hi.
let's share your screen, your slides.
Yes. Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So, floating greenhouse. Enel Campus Party throw a challenge we cannot refuse. Wind turbines in our beautiful and bucolic city almost 20 years ago will be dismissed soon, and this will have a significant impact on the environment. In fact, one of the major obstacles on this type of energy is the difficult to discard and recycle the wind turbines after their lifetime. So, the question is, what could be a new solution for the recycling and reuse of material from disused wind turbines in other sectors other than energy? Our idea is to extend the wind turbines' lifetime rather than to recycle to composite material using their original structure and taking advantage of their durability and easy. It has been thought to use their mechanical properties to build a floating greenhouse. There is a double use. It could be the structure based on the surface of the water and at the same time the beams of the reticular structure that hold the greenhouse. So why is it affordable to invest in a floating greenhouse? Because in the 2015, the world population will touch almost 10 billion of people in the world, where the resource will be over with regard to the field, weather, and energy. In the structure, plants and vegetables are cultivated through an innovative hydroponic cultivation system. This practice grants up to 7% of water saving compared to the traditional system. Fresh water is obtained through the solar desalination system that copies the solar distillation in a small scale. Inside the greenhouse is an innovative system that monitors the temperature and humidity trends, lightness level, and CO2 concentration. Thanks to the wireless network, the environment parameters can be easily monitored along the whole greenhouse. Finally, we have to hire for you. Why not we investigate about the possibility use of floating units and supporting structure in a single solution? And why not to use the Hunter turbines as a pillar, not just like a girth, to build a multi-level vertical vegetables garden? Teams is made of Antonio Scinardo, Leandro Cipinti, Lucia Rizzo, and Rosy Russo Papo. Thank you for your kind attention.
So last Q&A with the jury.
Antonio, only one question from my side, and it's related the association. Do you know if this project can be considered positive from the environmental association?
Yes, we think that is absolutely positive because this project will resolve future, but not so much future, big problem, like the population that will grow up too much in the next years. So with this project, we can have more land to use, more land and also more water, because in our planet we know that we use just one small part of planet, and in few years it should be a great solution.
Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Just a curiosity, the structure is floating on the sea or is anchored to the seabed?
So our question is if the structure that we plant is floating, but of course anchored, not moving. One of our question is if the turbines can float, because if it can, it's better to build it, because it's cheap to build it and is more functional.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you to you.
So perfect. So the jury can stay a little bit on stage with us, so Antonio can leave. So thank you very much. The jury has voted. So what's next? The appointment is this evening at 10:20. Sorry, it's 7:20. You will be on, of course, you already have the link, but you can follow also the award ceremony on the campus party stage. So now with the jury, we are going to have a quick meeting to decide the winner. And so to everyone, good luck. Thank you very much for your participation. And just follow our group to receive more news about the session tonight. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your participation, for your effort. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hello everybody. I'm Fabio Tentori. I manage the innovation hubs, the startups, all the collaboration that we do with startups and business incubation. And I'm here today to talk to you about innovability, how we work with startups to provide a brighter future and to empower sustainable development and progress. I'll have my presentation. Starting here. The world is changing. We are finally moving towards a more sustainable model, and there are innovators that are changing the world. There are innovators that are disrupting entire industries. Think about Elon Musk and Tesla, for example, that is making the automotive industry greener and now is valued much more than any other company, and maybe also by much more than the sum of all the other companies, automotive companies around the world. Think about people with a purpose, activists like Greta, that are bringing the sustainable talk at global level on the media, in the mind of important people that are leading our world. Think about investors as well, that are moving more and more their money towards ESG, green investments, sustainable investments. I truly believe that in the moment, we are changing our mindset. We are changing our mindset to become more sustainable. And the new generation like yours are growing up with a wonderful, sustainable mind. And this is why in Enel, we decided that sustainability is at the core of our strategy, is the core pillar, the most important pillar of our strategy. It is indeed our purpose. Every business we do, every decision we take, it goes towards sustainability. We need to fight climate change, and we are here to help. Energy is the lifeblood of economy, and so we need to provide affordable and clean energy to everyone, everywhere in the world. But the problem is that we can only do that if we are able to keep innovating. We need to use new technologies, new business models, new products, new services that can innovate the way that we make energy and we provide energy to our clients. This is why we put together innovation and sustainability, and we created innovability. Innovability is innovation at the service of sustainability. Is innovation for a better world. We like to say that sustainability is our purpose, innovation is our tool, is the way that we get there. I really believe that we have an unprecedented opportunity now to leverage all new technologies and innovation to fight climate change. And Enel wants to lead this action. But can we actually make it alone? Isn't this something way too difficult to do just by ourselves? Of course, we cannot make it alone. We need help. We need help from people like this, from beautiful minds, from people that have a great idea that can change the world. We need help from the new generations, from people like you, from the new generation that have a sustainable mind. This is why we work with an ecosystem of more than 500,000 people around us. We work with universities, we work with other institutions, with our colleagues to make their idea happen. We work with our customers, with industrial partners, with our suppliers. All of these to provide innovation, to create, develop, and implement innovation on our businesses. But especially, we work with startups. We have been working in the last few years with about 330 startups. 80 of them are now our global suppliers. And from each of the 330 projects, 330 collaborations that we did, we learned something new. We learned something interesting. And they are collaboration on everything. You can see from the logos, like we go from energy storage, exoskeleton, drones, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, software, anything, robotics. The more you think about, the more you can put in here, because we want to change the energy sector in each single piece of it and make it more sustainable. In fact, the only important thing of all of the collaboration that you can see here is that they are all towards one single purpose, to make the energy sector more sustainable. In order to find them, we go everywhere in the world. We opened our innovation hubs in Silicon Valley, in Boston, in Tel Aviv, in other places as well in Israel. These are places where innovation happens every day. There's a lot happening, and we are there to listen for the best opportunity, to find for the best opportunity. But we are also open in places where we are present as an industrial player. And so we are in Chile, we are in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, in Rio de Janeiro. We are all around South America. We are in Madrid to look for startups in Spain, in Italy, in Russia, all around Europe. Most of all, like at the end of the day, what we do, we look for startups from all over the world. We have a web page that is openinnovability.com, where anybody can go and apply to work with Enel. You can put your idea there, you can explain your idea, and if we find it nice, if we find it good, we would provide you support to grow these ideas and to implement it to make the world a better place. In order to do that, of course, we cannot make it alone. We have a few partnerships that we created along the years with different players that can support in different stages of the development of each startup and of each idea. We have accelerators that work with us. We have incubators. We have universities for research. We can provide the venture capital funds that can put money in the startups. Other big corporate partners that can support with their ability to make the ideas better and to scale them in a faster way. All of them, they're working with us to support startups to create and to implement their ideas to make them very impactful in a short term. Ultimately, what we do, we give to the best startups and to the best ideas the best platform where to grow. So they can test with us, they can develop with us, and then they can implement their ideas on our businesses at global level. If you have an idea for renewable energy, we can open up 50 gigawatts of installed capacity of renewable energy. We are the largest private player in renewable energy. If you want to access many customers, you can offer your products, your services to our 70 million clients that are waiting for the next innovative product or service to be offered to them. In fact, it is only thanks to startups that we are able now to monitor and also to control our power plants all over the world with drones and robots from a control room. It's only thanks to a startup that we have been able to create a digital platform to support municipalities in time of emergency, or also when they need to take data-driven decision on transportation, urban planning, and anything that can make the city greener. It is only thanks to startups that we have been able to plant more than 100,000 trees all over the world. We do it to absorb CO2, of course, but we do it as well to support the local communities where we are present around the world. And it is only thanks to startups that we are bringing up our inclusivity. We can have our deaf customer, client, connect to our best customer service to help them to solve their problems, to help them to support them if they have any problem with our services or with our products. And they can do that only thanks to an app that can be installed easily. And on the other side, they can find somebody in the customer service panel that would be able to understand and would be able to support. We like to say that we want to open our power for a brighter future. In other words, we really are empowering sustainable progress. Anything that has to do with renewable energy, digitalization of assets, of the way we work, of anything in general to make it more efficient, smart cities, smart industries, IoT, electric mobility, anything that is making the energy sector more sustainable is interesting and important for us. So if you have any idea on that, please send it to us and work with us. We want to innovate the energy sector in each single piece. So if you want to be part of the change, please connect to us, contact us. Together, we can start the journey to reshape the world. Together, we will be able to reshape the future, and we are committed, together with you, to open power for a brighter future. I see the best advice for a young entrepreneur. Interesting to say, I'm not an entrepreneur, so maybe the best question would be to ask this question to somebody which has been an entrepreneur. What I can tell you is that what we like in an entrepreneur is when they really believe in their ideas, they have thought through their ideas very well, and they are able to explain to a big corporation like us how this idea can change the world and can actually make it more sustainable. So focus on your idea. Don't be afraid of coming to a big corporation to explain it. Nobody's going to steal your idea. You will be able to succeed if we partner together. And the other advice is also do things. Like don't think too much. Don't overthink. Like there was a guy called Yoda, which used to say, do or do not. There is no try. So don't try to, make the idea better and think and overthink and whatever. Just do it. You have an idea, do it. A book to read. I am reading now Life 3.0 about artificial intelligence and the impact that artificial intelligence might have on our life. Super interesting. What are the differences between innovation and sustainability challenges in NN hubs all over the world? It's about the same. As I was telling you before, sustainability and innovation in NN is towards sustainability. So we might have some certain challenges that are that are related to direct sustainability things. There are certain other challenges that are related to innovation of different technologies, but at the end of the day, also those are actually to make an impact on the sustainability of our group. AR fashion tech startup. Are there an opportunity also for us, even if it's not related to energy or environment? I would suggest that you look for opportunities somewhere else, because we are focused on the energy and environment more in general, of course, but mostly related to energy. I think that we would be able to support you if you have an energy idea or anything that has to do with, industrial plants and all these things that we have as a big corporation. But maybe with fashion, we would not be really able to support you because it's something that we don't know, we don't have any expertise on. Good question. Incubator or ecosystem enablers? We are a little bit of both, but I like to call ourselves an ecosystem enabler. So when you come to us, we don't have we don't focus on having a space or having teaching a lesson on how to incubate your startup and all this kind of stuff. What we tend to do is we put you in contact with whoever is the best person, the best company to support you in the stage of development of your startup. So if you need an incubator, we have contacts with thousands of incubators all over the world, and you can find the one that is best for you. If you need money, we can put you in contact with venture capital funds that are supporting us and supporting the startup that work with us. The most important thing for us is that we like your idea, and we think that we can make a business together out of your idea. How do you choose the challenges available in your open innovability site? So we have more than 500 people all over the world in the group, in NL Group, that are working on innovation and sustainability and innovability, as I was explaining before. And what they do, their job is to connect to all the rest of the people in the group to figure out what are the challenges that they are facing in their business or in their contact with their clients, anything that they do. And once we bring all of these challenges together, we prioritize them by working through them with the rest of the business, with the rest of the group. And then we start posting one by one, the one that are on top of the priority. Every year we do another round of challenges. And if the priorities are changing, then we add or we take out some of the challenges that have been solved. They become partners. We tend not to invest in the equity of a startup. Actually, I would say that we don't invest in the equity of a startup. We don't want to take a quote of the equity because we don't want to impose our way of thinking, and we don't want to slow down the development of a startup. We are a big corporation. We are a very innovative big corporation. I'm super happy to work in this company. It's a completely new company for a traditional business like energy. But at the same time, we are still a very big corporation. So we have certain rules that we have to follow. We have certain things that we want to do. We don't want startups to follow the same rules because we don't want to block their innovation, their spirit for innovation, and their being fast in innovating and implementing. So what we usually do, we start working on a commercial basis. We test that together. If we develop something together, we discuss a little bit about the IP. But at the end of the day, we make a contract and we just work together to make sure that we deliver something that actually has an impact on the world, but at the same time is creating value for us and for the startups as well that is working with us. favorite startup or project that you have encountered so far? There's a lot. Like 300 is a big number. I can tell you that one thing that we are working on now, which I think is super interesting, is a way to remotize the creation of solar power plants. And we are working with a lot of artificial intelligence to make drones and robots autonomous in the work that they do. And that is particularly interesting and challenging. So that's what I like at the moment. Are you interested only in startup connected with sustainability in the energy sector, or also with other areas, water, pollution, climate change, reuse? All of these areas are super important to us. Water, we don't do water management in general, so but we use a lot of water in our power plants. So anything that has to do with making the more efficient usage of water, absolutely super important. Pollution and climate change, reuse, circular economy, anything like the energy sector is quite vast, right? So anything that goes into this could be super interesting for us, of course. I have been told that this is finished. There are no more questions. So thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm really happy that I had this opportunity to connect and to talk to you. And I'm looking forward for your ideas, your proposals for a collaboration with us. I am really, truly believing that this is a good time, especially if you have any idea on how to make energy greener. And we are here to listen to you, and we will support you for sure to make your idea impactful in the world. Thanks a lot.